back. We are coming to you from San Francisco's Bay Area. We've been catching up with Max Baer, who played Jethro Bodine. How did you get the role of Jethro? Any story to that?
Well, they were testing everybody. The only person that was signed for the show was Buddy Ebsen. Irene and I were not really in the desired. And we were testing that morning. They wanted somebody else, and we stayed there all day, and Irene took me to lunch. I was on unemployment insurance. In those days, it was $55 a week. She took me to lunch, and we had a couple of martinis and came back, and...
That seems to be a common theme in these stories.
No. I'm not the host, by the way.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But anyway, what happened was...
She'd still be alive, you're saying, if you were.
You never can tell.
Yeah, okay.
It's all right. So anyway, what happened is that I went to do my scene with Buddy, and needless to say that I was a little queasy, and I bumped into the door jamb as we went into the cabin, and I basically turned and said, "Excuse me," and in other words, my attitude was if somebody came in and said Granny got hit by a car, Jethro would say, "Granny got hit by a car." I mean, he was like out there someplace. I mean, and sometimes I wonder if he ever came back, you know.
If you're walking through the airports, people still come up to you and call you Jethro?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Certainly. As a matter of fact, up until just recently, I've had a mustache for the last 22 years. But in doing the show for CBS, that I think it's on the 24th.
24th.
The 24th, on Monday. I think it's Monday the 24th. They asked me if I'd shave my mustache, and I said, sure. I like the idea for the show, and so I did it.
Yeah. For those of us who are a little bit older, let me digress just for a second. But your dad... Your dad was the heavyweight champion of the world.
He was the 13th heavyweight champion of the world, yeah.
And when I met you backstage and you shook my hand, I suddenly realized that you could probably hurt a couple of people yourself. Tell me about, just tell me a story about your wonderful dad and the influence that he had on you.
My father and I were very close. As a matter of fact, this little St. Christopher medal that I have here, you can't see. It's the back of my father's watch, and on it says, "To Max, your loving wife, Mary Ellen, 1948. It was when my dad died. You know, you don't, sometimes you have a ring or something that you keep of your father or mother or whatever it is, and so I had this converted to that. My dad and I were more like buddies as opposed to father and son, and he used to tell me to stay out of boxing. He said, remember what the Bible says, it's far better to give than receive, and so get the hell out of the fight business, you know.
He did pretty good, and you were 21 when he passed away?
I was just 21. I graduated from the University of Santa Clara and was in the military down at Gunner Air Force Base, Montgomery, Alabama. And strangely enough, I had just come in from marching some of the kids out there, and I was laying in my bunk, and I got it over the air. I found out that he'd had a heart attack. I didn't get it from my parents or from anybody else. I got it. I was laying there, and... Yeah.
Let's change... subjects just for a second now. You are now involved in a new venture.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to give us a little bit of memories.
Well, what I've done is that I live at Lake Tahoe, Nevada. I'm a Nevada resident. And so up there they have a place called the Ponderosa Ranch where they shot a couple episodes of Bonanza. And people pay to go in there and see it. And so I thought, well, if people pay to go in to see Bonanza, maybe they'll go in to look at the Beverly Hillbillies for nothing. So I made a deal with CBS to license the rights to use the Beverly Hillbillies in a gaming casino theme park situation. So I've taken and created some ideas with an giant oil derrick out in front, with the casino is going to look like the Beverly Hillbilly mansion. Inside's going to be the Beverly Hillbilly truck with all the characters animatronic. There's going to be 4 talking slot machines that look like the characters. There's going to be the cement pond with rock climbs and rope swings and a log ride. There's going to be Granny's Vittles and Hog Jowls restaurant, Jethro's All-You-Can-Eat buffet.
Wonderful.
There's going to be all 274 Beverly Hillbilly shows to play free in a little old-fashioned theater. There's going to be Granny's Shotgun Wedding Chapel, that's the old...
Explain that.
That's the old cabin back in the hills brought in, and inside there is a granny who is the justice of the peace, and the woman is going to be all, you know, pregnant. We make her fake pregnant, and the groom is going to be brought in by 2 sheriffs with ball and chain, handcuffed, and there's going to be a wedding ceremony there in this old log cabin, and the justice of the peace is also a comedian. She's going to ask him, you know, why, you know, how long you been with child, honey? Happened in the back seat of a car, did it? You know, I mean, and so it'll be a package that you market to the people.
And if you tell the people there you watch the Jerry Springer Show, it's free admission, you said? That's right.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Max, you obviously are very successful now. How did you succeed where a lot of actors who were typecast never really amounted to much afterwards?
I suffer from a disease called tunnel vision. It's very difficult for me to do more than one thing. When I juggle, it's like this, one thing. So when I get focused on something, that's all that I do. I don't do anything else. I did that with Macon County Line. I did that with Ode to Billy Joe. And I've done that with the Beverly Hillbilly Casino idea. And I will do it until I get it done.
Great.
I was wondering, in the song or in the movie, there was no mom. What happened?
Oh, in the Beverly Hillbilly?
Beverly Hillbilly.
It was just Uncle Jed.
There was Uncle Jed. I was the cousin. I was Jethro Bodine. I was a relative. There was really Jed Clampett, Ellie Mae Clampett, and her name was Granny Moses. I'm trying to remember, in all honesty, what happened. I think her mother supposedly had died early. That was at least the formula before the series went on the air.
But there's even more to the story, because you not only were Jethro, but this is a talk show, so it's perfect to talk about this kind of a subject.
Especially in San Francisco.
We've had guests like this on our show, but you're also Jethrine.
That's what I meant about San Francisco.
Yeah. So, tell me about what it was like playing the woman Jethrine.
Well, I can understand now how people feel when they walk around with 20 pounds on their chest, because they had to, because I'm 6'5", I weigh about 220, and when they put these, the bra on me and filled it full of whatever they filled it full of, I don't know what, and put this makeup on my face and put me in a girdle and all of this stuff, I mean, I'm telling you, women go through hell, you know?
Okay, but just between me and you, Max, and no one's listening, you kind of enjoyed that, didn't you? Come on.
Well, I was going to say play with myself, but that isn't exactly the right line, is it?
When we come back, you're going to meet Buddy Ebsen, who played Jed Clampett, and Donna Duckman, who played Ellie Mae. Stay with us. This is going to be fun.